The Gupta family-owned enterprises, whose accounts are facing closure by the Bank of Baroda South African unit, are seeking urgent relief. They're in the North Gauteng High Court today to compel the Bank of Baroda to extend their termination deadline. Bank of Baroda is the only bank conducting business with the companies after almost simultaneous severing of ties by four major banks. Now, this last lifeline has also threatened to pull the plug. It has given the group till September the 30th to terminate contract. The bank gave the Guptas just 23 business days to move their money to another lender before all accounts are terminated. As a last-ditch effort, the group is now seeking legal recourse to force the bank to give them reasonable time to make alternate arrangements. Kierapetsi Hlope takes us through the arguments before the court.
Let's just take a look at the arguments that are before the court, both from the side of Bank of Baroda and from the Oak Bay Group. Bank of Baroda says that they are facing substantial risks involved in providing banking services to the Gupta families and their applicants. The Oak Bay Group says that these are speculative grounds that are actually relying on invalid, irrational and unlawful reasons. The next argument coming in from Bank of Baroda is that the applicants face allegations of unlawful conduct, including corruption and money laundering. Oak Bay Group says that the Bank of Baroda never sent any queries seeking clarifications over the allegations in media reports levelled against Oak Bay. Next on the list, Bank of Baroda are fearful of further reputational, commercial risks given the extensive media reports and public allegations. Oak Bay says these concerns will be met after a court order. The Bank of Baroda said that sufficient time has been given to the applicants before the accounts can be closed. But Oak Bay says the bank only gave them 23 business days to make the alternate plans. And this is seen as an unreasonable notice period, knowing that it actually takes a lot of time to get some backup plans made. Bank of Baroda says that a longer notice actually would not improve the prospects of finding alternative banking services, whereas Oak Bay says that the immediate termination would take away the sole remaining banking facilities and that no employees, no suppliers and no debtors can be paid until another arrangement is made. Bank of Baroda fear administrative sanctions from the South African Reserve Bank. And Oak Bay says that this is undue pressure being brought onto the Bank of Baroda by the Reserve Bank. And Bank of Baroda says that if the applicant suffers prejudice, it is not Bank of Baroda's fault. Oak Bay says it's unjustifiable limitation of applicants' right to freedom of trade, occupation and profession.
The application has been brought essentially in two parts. One is basically seeking an interim relief to preserve the status quo, pending the outcome of this proceedings that's going to take place at 10, which will have, which will seek to have perpetrated termination set aside, or at least they're also asking the Bank of Baroda to give them a reasonable time frame to look for another banking relationship. But what is Oak Bay also saying is that the Bank of Baroda did not give them enough time. And now remember, Bank of Baroda said on the 6th of July had sent them a termination letter saying by 17th of July we will be terminating our banking accounts with Oak Bay. However, when the two parties met, they decided to push this deadline, saying by September 30th they will be terminating all the contracts. Now Bank of Baroda is saying that time is sufficient and Oak Bay should have found another banking partners by then.